we owed it to ourselves. So we battled all year to get to this point. If you're in here with us, it's not a great place to be in when you're 0-5. I've kind of always had to battle, and I've always had belief in myself that I could play at this level, play at the highest level. So there's nothing I would change about my pathway or kind of the opportunities I got. Obviously, I feel like I deserved more opportunities as a junior for sure. I felt like I was a capable player.
Welcome back to another episode of the Huddle, and it's an exciting one because this young man right here, Owen Foxwell, is on fire. We are down at the State Basketball Centre to catch up with him before the finals. Foxy, I say you're on fire. Have you had a moment to just stop and appreciate everything that's gone on to this point, or are you just completely focused on the finals?
I think, yeah, we've had moments. We've had the last couple of days off, so it's been nice to kind of just relax. And but it's been a bit of a wild ride the whole year, like everybody's been saying. So it's been nice to kind of soak it in and be in the position that we are after starting 0-5, a couple coach changes, and now we're here. But like us as a group, we're super proud of where we are so far. Obviously, this is not the end goal. The goal is to win a championship, but like super proud of the effort we've made so far.
We'll touch a little bit on the season. I obviously want to unpack your career to getting to this point because it's an unbelievable story. Yeah. But let's go back to Sunday because it's so fresh. Halftime, you probably couldn't have played a worse half of basketball. And I say that knowing what happened at the start of the season as well. What goes on in that little 10-minute period to come out and then know that your season is now continuing and a championship is still up for contention?
Well, yeah, it's firstly a good way to put it. Probably the worst half of basketball we played all year, even when we were 0-5. So 26 points is terrible. And then like any game, when you're kind of struggling, you go into halftime, players meet first, kind of talk about what's happening. And we've been in a position where we've been up 20, and then Adelaide, same game, we've come back. We end up winning the game, but we're confident in ourselves. And then coach comes in and speaks, and then have a little bit from Sammy Mack and kind of just talk about we owed it to ourselves. So we battled all year to get to this point. We owed it to ourselves to not go out how we did in the first half, and kind of we fought back with some big efforts from quite a few of the guys, Matty Ice, Ben Air, Glove, like awesome down the stretch. So just super proud of the group.
You've played basketball nearly your whole life, so you would have been on the end of some unbelievable sprays. And the fans, everybody assuming media that at halftime, 26 points on the board, that you're copping nothing but a mouthful from a guy like Josh King, who's as energetic as they are, but that wasn't the case.
I would say, obviously, it was a disappointing locker room. I would say, obviously, you're down 20 points at halftime, so you're not happy about it. Josh didn't have a lot to say. Like when we're in that position, there's only so much you can say. But he kind of just hit the points that he needed to. And then we kind of talked as a group with the assistant coaches. And like I said before, it was kind of a point of we owe it to ourselves. This is not how we deserve to go out. We've battled so hard to get to this point. Don't go out like this. And I guess you can say the halftime was what worked or whatnot, but we came out in the second half a completely different team.
How much are you looking forward to now, this massive semi-final series? Because you've got to win 5 more games to be an NBL champion, knowing it's only 5. And you've got to go through the best team in the league, the Hawks, to do that, and potentially a championship series. How excited are you, one? But two, what's it going to take to become a champion?
Oh, firstly, super excited. I haven't been able to be involved this is my 4th year here. We haven't been involved in a 3 games or any type of series since I've been here. So firstly, super excited for the challenge. And also to be the best, you got to beat the best. And at the moment, the Hawks are. We've found success against them so far this year. Under Josh, and kind of we feel confident as a group that we can get it done. We're familiar with them. We just need to play our game for sure.
It's going to be a crazy environment in Illawarra, and then I'm sure back at John Cain with the fans. But those road games in finals where the atmosphere goes up in a smaller gym like the Wynn Entertainment Centre, do you love those environments when everybody's going to be against you?
Yeah, for sure. I think they're the moments that you live for as a player. And I think as our group, we've got a bunch of winners in the gym that have been in those situations, have won in those situations. D-Walt, Glove, Geordie, Tommy, they've been in those situations before that they can kind of give advice or kind of show a bit of composure and teach other guys that may have not have been in that situation what it's going to be like. So I think we have what it takes to get it done.
Looking back at the start of the year, 0-5, and you mentioned your time already at the Phoenix, you're still so incredibly young in your professional career. To have gone through what you had to last year with all the injuries and the struggles just to win games, but then to start this year, the 3 coaches in 1 year, you've been through everything on that lower end of results-wise a player could go through at such a young age. Do you think this is going to help you better propel yourself in the future because you understand how bad it can be and how to fight through that?
Yeah, for sure. And obviously it's about having good people around you as well. If you're in here with us, it's not a great place to be in when you're 0-5, your head coach, it kind of parted ways with the group. So, but like we've told everybody this whole year, we kind of just galvanized around each other, banded together, and we kind of didn't really lose our footing, and we didn't take a step backwards after the kind of hit. We just kind of moved on into Sammy Mack, into Josh King, and like we're here now, 3-game series, need to win 5 games to win a championship. So it's super exciting.
Tell me a bit about Josh King, because he said in the press conference, one of his earlier press conferences after a win, how you are a Josh King guy. And it makes sense when we understand how you play and also his antics on the sideline. When you first got to meet him as a coach and you saw maybe it was in practice or on a game, was there any moment where you were just like, whoa, this dude's intense?
Yeah, for sure. Like he came in the first day and he was himself.
Yeah.
He wasn't sugarcoating what he wanted to do as a coach, who he was, how he likes to play. So firstly, that made it easy for us to be like, this is how it's going to be. It's not going to switch up from this. This is what we've got. And I'm not going to change who I am or how I play depending on if a coach is energetic, if he's intense, if he's mellow. I'm going to be the same player. Obviously, it does make it a lot easier for me when he's preaching defense, preaching energy, because everything kind of I bring to the table as a player. And then if I bring that defensively, I think it helps my offense flow even more, which I found success this year.
You've been unbelievable this year. And again, it's just the start. And we forget sometimes how young you are because you've been around for a while. I want to take it back to the path in the NBL before we talk a bit about your childhood and your family, because you getting that first opportunity as a DP. And I remember the game vividly. I want to know that throwdown, and Simon Mitchell was coaching. Was there talk of you getting on before that? Did you know that you were going to come in and have an impact? And that first shot, what was going through your mind? Because it doesn't get bigger as a DP probably playing in a throwdown, knowing, and again, you're playing against one of the best players we've ever seen in Chris Golding as well. But it all just encapsulated who you are as a person as well.
Oh yeah, like that whole year I was an unpaid DP firstly, so kind of glorified training player in a way. And we were in a situation in that year where we were teetering on the finals, and it was like had to win all the games out to get in. And Simon kind of mentioned, like just be ready for the game. And I was like, called me into his office, like just be ready. And I didn't know what that meant. Yeah, I was just like, yeah, I've been ready the whole year kind of thing. And then first sub, bam, straight on the floor, get a kick out pass from Isaiah Liafa, and knock down a triple. And then it's kind of history from there. But like you said, I think me as a player, as a kid, never the biggest, was never a junior Australian, was never wasn't even a state, didn't represent my state until under 18s either. So I've kind of always had to battle, and I've always had belief in myself that I could play at this level, play at the highest level. So I was just always waiting for my moment to kind of show the world and show that I can do it. And Simon kind of gave me that opportunity, and the coaching staff and the club, and I'm here where I am now.
After that game, even with the family, what does that feel like? Because the DP life as a whole, it's not glamorous. And again, I've spoken to a lot of guys who have gone through those ranks, and being an unpaid DP is completely different as well. But having to do all the promos that everyone else does, do all of that hard work on the court, extra stuff as well, and then not to be on the court for the majority of the season. Did you battle with any of that, or did you understand the process of, I have to go through this to get where I am today?
I enjoyed, for my first year at least, I loved the process. We had a great group of kind of training guys and DPs. It was me, Cohen Sapwell, Lockie Barker, Tristan Forsyth, Ben Lee, And so we had a lot of fun. The green squad at practice, the practice squad, going after it every day, and I got so much better. And that's all it was at that point in my career. It was like, I'm trying to get as good as possible, improve as much as I can, and if my opportunity comes, I'm going to be ready. And that's when it was. Obviously, the year after seeing a bit of court time, going back to the DP, it's like, oh, damn, you kind of you're chasing that feeling constantly. Got fortunate with injuries, kept playing, kept getting better. Kind of performing well in games, and then kind of just rolling that forward until here I am. So I guess all the hard work that I kind of put in paid off, sure.
Is there any moment where you get to sit here and think, we see the different pathways now, and obviously college was still a big option for a lot of young players. Would you change anything that you've gone through, or do you think that every step is lined up perfectly for you to be here now? Because we know the significance as well of playing here for you in Knox and the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix.
I wouldn't change it. No, there's nothing I would change about my pathway, or kind of the opportunities I got. Obviously, I feel like I deserved more opportunities as a junior for sure. I felt like I was a capable player at that age, and I didn't have a Division 1 offer even after my first DP year, which I thought was also hard done by again. But no, I wouldn't change it for a thing, because I'm so comfortable here now. I've kind of, I would say, made a name for myself, created a role that I'm super happy with, and contributing to winning, which is, at the end of the day, is what's most important. And no, I'm super happy.
You're a Bulleen junior, so again, we talk about being local, especially playing the games at the State Basketball Centre. I saw a picture of you running around playing for Bulleen. You look the exact same. So are you talking about being unassuming and still so young, 21 years old? Do you have any moments in games or in practice, or even, I guess, off season, where you have to remember, hang on, I'm still only 21. Like I've got another potentially 18 years to play this game.
Yeah, like you say, how young I am still. I kind of try and embrace that, with using that to my advantage. Like, I have so much time to get as good as I can. So using every moment in vitamins, in practice and all of that. And the coaching staff has been great. Like, this past off season, I was in here most days with Luke Brennan in the weight room. So like you said, being so young is just trying to get as good as possible.
You grew up obviously around the basketball environment. We know your dad played, and now your brothers, well, in particular the one in Melbourne United as well, when you have a little throwdown matchups playing against each other. Getting a basketball in your hands at a young age and having that around for your family, what was that like? And I guess, where did that first dream become real, of like, hang on, this is something that I really want to get, and it's something I can achieve?
Yeah, well, I came from a big basketball family. So my dad played at Bulleen. My mum's brother was actually at the AIS, played high level Siebel basketball. So I was kind of always just kind of thrown into the deep end a little bit. Had a basketball in my hand since the age of like 4 years old. So, but and when I was growing up, it was kind of just more something that I enjoyed doing. So it wasn't something I took seriously. Was a big footballer growing up, and then started taking it really seriously around 14, 15 years old, and kind of took off from there. Obviously not getting the opportunities I thought I deserved. But like I said, it's kind of where I am now, and I wouldn't change it, sort of thing.
How do you deal with that in the moment where, and again, a lot of guys, a lot of young kids in the similar position, where you miss out on a state representative, you don't get a college offer where you probably should deserve one, when we see a lot of Aussies go over there? Do you look back and think, I'm proud of the way I overcame that? Or were you always understood, like, there's going to be challenges, it doesn't matter what happens, if I stay the course, things should work out for me?
Yeah, I think probably the way you just put it is, I've just got to keep working hard. I never took it as, damn, I should be in front of this guy, or I'm way better than this guy. It was more just like, okay, I've got to keep getting better. I've got to keep working. I've got to keep improving my game, because I'm obviously not there yet. So that's kind of the way I took it. And then my opportunities finally came, and it kind of worked out how it did. Was in the right place at the right time, and showed what I got, and got that opportunity, and was lucky enough to now be here for my 4th year. Well, it's going to be 6 years after the next 2, which will be very exciting.
And hopefully a lot longer after that. And we also know that when this season's done, and the off season and the last couple of years playing for Eltham, and this is something I'm really keen to talk to you about, because it's something that I had to go through, and some other players, where when you play in the off season, NBL1 Eltham, where you are a main guy, when you're a main scoring option, when you really are the focal point on the opposition scout, to then changing your role to get on the court in the NBL, was that something you had to learn to adapt with? And how do you overcome, I guess, that challenge? Because not everybody can do it.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think for me, it's not that I don't really try and change my game too much. I think the coaching staff at Eltham as well, they had a great understanding of who I was from a junior. I knew Craig for a long time. And so they knew what I was capable of as a player. And so they kind of allowed me to be me, put me in situations where they know I'd be successful. And then when I came here, it was kind of a similar thing. Like I said, with injuries and stuff, I was kind of thrown in the deep end, starting some games, having to run the offense. So I did have to learn, though, to kind of adapt and be like, all right, here we have guys that have played in the NBA. Like, we have some of the best players in the world on my team that I need to get the ball to. It's not about me getting up 15 shots. So I think it's about adapting as well to getting to the spots on the floor to make other guys successful, rather than in the off season, well, the best way to win is kind of scoring the ball and making plays. So it's an interesting dynamic, but I feel like I found the balance well.
You've played alongside and battled obviously every day in practice, and then played against some really elite point guards. You mentioned NBA quality point guards. Derek Walt Jr. has won a championship in the NBL. He's won a championship series MVP. Who are some of the key guys throughout your entire journey who maybe you watched locally and battled against and thought, I want to take some stuff out of their game, or on your team what really made you into a better player?
I think my first year we had Xavier Mumford here, and he kind of did take a genuine effort to kind of take me under his wing a little bit, and really and I went and sorted it out and kind of wanted his advice, and he really helped me with my game as just being a point guard and a guard and being elite. Like, he played in the NBA, he's still playing high level Europe, but then also getting the opportunity to play against elite guards. I think 4 of our last 5 games I've had to guard Bryce and Kendrick. So just being able to watch those guys and take their game and what they do so well against somebody that's trying to stop them at all costs also helps my game a lot. And just, yeah, like Bryce is probably the main one. Just watching what he does every single week is pretty amazing, and seeing what I can take from his game, and having a guy like Luke Brennan that's been around Bryce for a long time and kind of getting to pick his brain has really helped me too.
Bryce is an interesting one, because obviously not everyone can attest to that. And as someone who got thrown into the deep end, having to do that as well, do you ever have those moments where, even if maybe he's playing in a different game, where you sit back and it's hard to switch off being a fan of just greatness?
A little bit. It hurts when you feel like you're doing a really good job for 3.5 quarters, and then you go and foul him on a 3 and he knocks it down, and then you get subbed out of the game and RAC's chanting MVP. So it's hard to kind of be a fan of him in that moment. But watching back, like, he's one of the best. Like, he probably is the best that I've seen in the NBL. And getting the opportunity to guard him is kind of a privilege to me. I embrace it. I look forward to it. Because at the end of the day, that's the guy that's at the top, and to stop him is, yeah, like I said, it's a kind of a privilege.
Your defensive tenacity as a whole, and that's, as you said over and over, that's what's got you to where you are now, and deservedly of the extension, the court time, everything that you've been doing. Where did that come from in your game? Because again, growing up, and I'm sure with younger brothers and playing, where you just want to be a hooper, like, oh, I'm beating up on my younger brothers here, I'm scoring the rock, but it's the defensive tenacity and really the way you play as a whole that sets you apart from a lot of other youngsters. Where did that come from?
I think from my parents. They always kind of preached. They never cared how bad I played, or if I was 0 for 10 from the field, or if I had 0 points or whatnot. They just cared about, I gave him my all every game. If they could watch the game and go, nah, he really gave 100% the whole game, they'd be proud of me. So that's kind of, I think, where it stemmed from. And then I kind of just took that into everything I do in life, and kind of, especially on the court, I'm going to go balls out. I think that's the way I play best, is even to help me offensively. If I'm doing well on the defensive end, jumping on loose balls, I feel a bit more juice offensively. And yeah, just as a kid, like, it's just kind of always how I've been. Nothing you can really teach, I guess. It's kind of just who I am, and I feel like how I impact games the most.
Is it a lot of it probably from battling brothers as well in the backyard?
Oh, for sure. We used to have we have like an indoor like carpet. We used to have like indoor carpeted area with like a kind of a ring in the middle of the court, like against the wall, and just every night come beat each other. Yeah, like 1v1v1, just getting after it. Which also I think it helped them more than it helped me. Yeah, for me, I was probably obviously bigger and stronger than them, so that would have helped them massively. But they're doing great.
What is that moment like then when on an NBL floor where, regardless of the situation, what it is, but you're matching up on your brother, both Foxwells on the back, your family's in the crowd. Can anything prepare you for a moment like that?
Nah, not at all. The first time it happened was a preseason game, and it was a surreal moment. I think it would have meant more to my parents for sure. I think seeing us two on the court together in a professional environment is just everything that they've given up, and kind of all the time, the driving, the money towards our basketball careers makes that worthwhile, makes every penny worth it. So to make them happy means the world.
Now, we see how much joy you have here at the Phoenix, and again, being a state basketball, playing some games here is awesome, but there is a special vibe around the group. Obviously, everything that happened this season, the way it transpired, but also the camaraderie of the team. And I say that because the guy who walked past us before, Angus Glover, who you've played in off-season with, you've known Angus Glover for a long time. What's it like going from an NBL 1, winning a championship there, to then coming and battling it out here? And you know him better than a lot of other teammates. He's, again, you talk about tenaciousness. It's you two who really set a bar with that.
Yeah, well, me and Glover, we're probably sick of each other by now. Yeah, like I said, we've seen success everywhere we've played together. So being involved with him has been awesome, and you can see on the court how well we work together, and even off the court how well we get along, go play golf together, and everything. So awesome dude, and we get along so well, and hopefully that relationship continues into the future.
I was going to ask, 21 years old, playing professional basketball, what do you get up to in your downtime? Didn't know you were a bit of a golfer.
Oh, I'm terrible. You can ask me, Sobes, Joe, and Glove played the other day, and I was terrible. So I play golf, but not very well.
How often?
In the summer, maybe once every 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, when we can.
Yeah.
When there's a break in games, but I'm terrible.
What do you
get lessons?
What do you like to get up to then? Again, do you still feel it's important, even at your age, continuing to fight for every little piece of improvement, to completely switch off from basketball? Are you able to do that? Because you are someone who loves the game, and I would assume you're a student of the game as well.
Yeah, like I wouldn't say my life is too crazy. Video games, just watching TV, pretty much watching basketball. My family is all we really talk about anyway. So talking basketball, so what Australians here, what Australians there. Got a few friends playing college, so I'll watch them from time to time too. So nothing crazy, but video games, golf. That's pretty much everybody's hobbies anyway. So
you feel like also one of those guys that loves just practice, because anytime there's a basketball there and you get to compete, you're living your dream.
Yeah, for sure. I think ever since I was younger, and even first DP days, it's kind of all you knew.
Yeah.
And just the idea of getting up and down is just fun. Just playing the game is kind of the best part. Like even NBL 1, just rolling the balls out, and twice a week you're getting up and down, scrimmaging against guys. It's just fun. And just also the idea of kind of battling every day. Like every day you're working towards something. Like this isn't just like, oh, you're trying to get better. Like you're working as a team to improve, and you're trying to win a championship. So it actually, every day in practice, it means something. So I think that's what's really special about, and why I love it.
I'm looking forward to seeing Smiley Claus yelling out. Lastly here, before I let you go, because it's great to see it all unfold and to hear it in more depth, but what are some short-term, long-term goals for Owen Foxwell? Because you've now got the extension, you've solidified yourself as a legitimate NBA to winning on a nightly basis. What else have you got left to achieve?
It's a good question, because it's not something that I think about often. I'm not. So, this guy's got to chill out. Yeah, obviously, firstly would be to represent Australia.
Yeah.
Be a boomer would be probably at the top of the list. Being so young, I'd love to see what heights I can reach as far as playing at the highest level. If that's getting my name called, if that's kind of summer league, if whatever it is, it's kind of the sky's the limit for me. I'm not putting bars on where I want to get to. So whatever it is, I'm just gonna keep plodding away, keep working hard. And like you said, contribute to winning is kind of my main focus at the moment. But wherever kind of my basketball world takes me, the highest I can get to is the goal for sure.
I think it's all achievable, as I said. We forget that you're just 21. So, mate, thank you so much for catching up. Good luck, and hope you win a championship.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you.